Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. We did it, ladies and gentlemen. We are headed into the All-Star break above 500 for the first time. I think it's for the first time since 2013. It's been a long time, but it feels good to go into the break with a winning record. Now, we can cruise into the break. Let Julius Randle do his all-star thing. Let Obi Toppin do his slam dunk thing. You know, then let the guys chill, relax with their family, practice, come back ready to attack the second half of the season. You know what I'm saying? Good win by the Knicks. You know what? We got a little bit lazy during the fourth quarter. Let these guys try to give us a scare. I was never really scared. Never really scared. They just didn't have enough. And I'm sorry if you've seen that spit fly out my mouth. We just didn't have enough. The Pistons were led by Wayne Ellington, ladies and gentlemen. Wayne Ellington had 17 points. They did have balanced scoring. I'll give them that. Wayne Ellington had 17 points. Sadiq Bey had 14 points, 4 assists. Svi Mykhailiuk, he had 11 points, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds. Mason Plumlee had 12 points, 13 rebounds. Dennis Smith Jr. had 12 points, 2 assists. Rodney McGruder. E-Roof from Die Hard Knicks was asking me about Rodney McGruder at halftime. I was like, I'm not sure. I don't really know the kid, but he can ball. He got 13 points. Isaiah Stewart, he had 10 points, 4 rebounds. Sekou Doumbouya, he had 10 points. The Pistons, you know, they battled. Jeremy Grant was out tonight, their leading scorer. 25 points per game, whatever he gets. He was out tonight. That was good for the New York Knicks. As for the New York Knicks, they were led by your all-star, ladies and gentlemen. The guy that wants to be here long term. They were led by Julius Randle. He had 27 points, 16 rebounds, and 7 assists. He did his all-star thing. He's going to be playing with Kevin Durant on the all-star team. Yes, KD chose Julius Randle. I think he also chose James Harden. 3 guys playing between the Knicks and the Nets. Going to be playing together on the all-star team. RJ Barrett, he had 21 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Nerlens Noel had 12 points and 11 rebounds. He also had 4 steals and 2 blocks and 2 assists. Nerlens Noel is 5 for 5 from the field. Reggie Bullock had 12 points. The Elf was back in the building. I know some people were mad, some people were steaming, but the Elf was back in the building. He had 20 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals. He played some ball. Alec Burks had 9 points. Obi Toppin had 4 points. Frank Ntilikina, he was knocking down threes in the first half. He had 9 points. Emmanuel Quickly didn't have a good game tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But that's okay. It's okay. He's due, and it's okay for him not to have a good game. Yeah. Good win by the New York Knicks over the Detroit Pistons. And ladies and gentlemen, I do want to remind you that next week on March 10th, the Front Stoop is back in the building, and we want you to be there. We're trying to build the same type of culture on the Front Stoop like we have here with NBK. So please subscribe to the channel. Join us next week. If you like talking about hip-hop, society, and life, join us. We talk about everything. We've had guests from Ice-T to MC Search on the show. Make sure you come check it out. It's dope. All right, let's get these guys over here and let's talk New York Knicks basketball, ladies and gentlemen. Fellas, what's popping with you today? T. Crow, how you feeling, man?
Yo, shout out to the chat. Shout out to the panel. Yo, Black, it's time. Sim, it's a good win. Good way to go into the break. Everybody's talking about the second half schedule. I still haven't looked at it. I'll probably look at it later. But it's a good way to end the first half. So let's get some rest. Not too much. Don't get lazy. Still work out. I know Tibbs is gonna.
So salute to the chat, man. The panel, NBK. We in here, Knicks 19-18, man. We going into the break on a good note, brother. It's a real it's time to be a Knicks fan for me, man. Just to see where we at and what we doing. For them to go hard tonight and get us over 500 and just maintain that momentum is what's up. So salute to the team. Salute to my man Julius Randle. Go enjoy your All-Star weekend. You and your family, man. Go represent the Knicks real well. Put up some numbers and just have some fun with the Obi and the slam dunk. But I'm excited, Sim. I say we are who I reckon say we are now. I believe that, man. And I'm understand the truth of power.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? We ready. Yeah, we ready to get this, man. All those Knicks fans should be excited, man. Salute to the Knicks. 19-18 going into the All-Star break. We can't ask for nothing else, my brother.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And my man, somebody asked me in the chat, what time are we doing the front stoop next week? It's probably going to be somewhere around 9 p.m., something like that, 9:30 p.m. But if you subscribe to the channel, make sure you click the button to receive all notifications, and you'll receive the notification when I send it out. So just make sure you subscribe to the channel. I just put the link in the chat, and I pinned it to the top of the YouTube chat. All right. So go ahead and subscribe to that Front Stoop channel, man, and talk hip hop with us. I read that article that you sent me, City. I read that article with Julius Randle. I really, really enjoyed the story that he told about Kobe Bryant. Right? He told the story about, how it was his second season in the NBA. Because remember, in his first season, broke his leg, so he didn't get to really play the first season. In his second season, he was on his way to Dallas. First game back in Dallas. He's getting calls from everybody like, yo, what we trying to do? We trying to do this, that, and the third. And he steps off the plane, and Kobe is like, yo, Julius, what you getting ready to do? He's like, yo, I'm getting ready to go chill with some family. Friends, he's like, no, we going to the gym. Right? And Julius was like, huh? What you, like, bro, so what you mean? And he was like, if it was anybody else, he probably would have rolled his eyes and went on about his way. But because it was Kobe, you can't do that to Kobe. So he went to the gym with Kobe. And that became his routine, right? Where, when during an away game, he gets the coaching staff or the team to find a gym for him to shoot in. He gets off the plane and goes to the gym. Now he said the entire team does it, right? He said he feels something with this team. He feels like this one team working towards one goal, because of things like that, and in it, he talked about his mindset coming to the Knicks last year, and how he had the wrong mindset, feeling like the way that I give to this team is by dropping my 25 to 30. And he forgot about all the other things, or didn't understand all the other things you had to do to be a leader, to be the main guy. You know what I'm saying? He learned it. And he's doing it this year. And he likes what he's seeing from the team, just the commitment and the camaraderie and the togetherness of the team. So it was a great read. It really was a great read. If you get a chance, make sure you read it. It's a good read. They asked him about it at the end of the game, and he just said, I just wanted to let the New York fans know, what it meant to me, that they continue to support us and support me. And now we got fans in the stadium, and they're supporting us and this, that, and the third. And, he wanted to just put it out there and let them know. But it was a great read. And if you didn't like Julius Randle, if you still didn't like Julius Randle, this might make you like him a little bit more. You know what I mean? It's a good article, City. It was good, really good article. Yeah. We talked a little bit about Julius Randle and whether or not the Knicks should. And look, there's not a lot to break down about this game, ladies and gentlemen. So, there's other stuff to talk about, but it's just not a lot to break down about this game. The Knicks won. The Knicks came out. They did what we thought they were going to do, put the clamps on them, went up by 20. They let it back a little bit, but for the most part, they took them out of here. They took them out of here. The Knicks shot tonight. What'd they shoot? They shot 54% from the field. They shot 33% from three. They won the rebounding battle 52-34. They won the assist battle tonight 25-23. Only 10 turnovers for the Knicks, 6 turnovers for the Detroit Pistons. You know, the Knicks, 13 turnovers for the Knicks, 12 turnovers for the Detroit Pistons, 10 steals for the Knicks, and 6 steals for the Pistons. The Knicks did what they had to do tonight. As expected. The Knicks find themselves in the 5th spot in the Eastern Conference. They're 19-18. Boston won tonight over the Toronto Raptors, so they stake claim to that 4th spot. It's okay. I'm with it. City, go ahead, man.
Oh, yo, Sim, you already know I'm happy. I'm happy, man. We got my guy at Alpha Wall Street back. He coming back, putting in buckets, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Playing his hard defense. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then you got Julius doing his original OJ thing, man. Like, you know, he got the orange Julius going on. What more can RJ dropping buckets still? You know, Bullock was kind of shaky, you know. He was like here and there, but he hit some shots when we needed him to. Same thing with Burks. And what about Frankie French Fry Fingers? I know Kev is somewhere right now.
Yo, listen.
Kev is somewhere right now swimming in a bunch of fries right now.
Yeah, I'm sure Kev will probably be here soon. I got a new name for Frank Ntilikina. I got a new name for Frank. I'm calling him Snowfall. That's what I'm calling him. I'm calling him Snowfall. That's my new name for Frank. Snowfall. You know what I'm saying? He's making the trays fall, and it's cold. And he's cold like Franklin sometimes on the defensive side. So I'm calling him Snowfall. That's my new name for Frank Ntilikina. Big shout out to Derek. He says, Sim, did you see the quote Ian Begley used in regards to Oladipo on the Knicks organization? I'm starting to think he's their target after that quote. You know, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of quotes that's out there. You know, I seen another article by NBA scout, where an NBA scout was the source, who said that the Knicks are the front runners for Andre Drummond. So there's all kinds of stuff out there. I did not see that quote because I've been preparing for this meeting all day long, so I didn't get a chance to really delve into a bunch of Knicks stuff. I am going to go check out the quote, though. But my question, Tony, when the Knicks come back from the All-Star break, do we have the same team?
I think a move is coming, so I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no.
What do you think? I mean, just listen, we know some of the areas where, you know, we know we need another scorer, and we know, depending on what's going on with Mitch, we might need another big guy. Which way do you think they go?
I prefer the Drummond route.
Okay.
I think it's out of Drummond and Oladipo. I truly do, because I think they're the cheapest options where you probably don't have to give up even a rotation player. Drummond you probably will, just to make the money add up, but it's not going to be one of the extra valued guys. I'll say that. But I also believe that Drummond, out of those two guys, if I was going to bet that one of us was going to take us further or deeper into the playoffs, it would be Drummond. I mean, that's just how I feel, because he feels a bigger need as far as somebody who could defend. And when I say defend, I'm not saying stop, but has the size and the strength to deal with and battle and be in the bigger, stronger centers. I don't think we have anybody else that could do that.
Okay.
At our best, we have guys that can hit the three that could shoot the ball, that could create their own shot. I'm referring to both Burks and Bullock. It doesn't apply to both of them. Like, obviously, Bullock can't really create his own shot. Burks can. So at their best, those guys are adequate enough to get us what Oladipo would potentially give us.
Right. Okay.
We you know what I mean? We don't have anybody that can give us what Drummond can give us.
Right. What is the quote that Ian Begley used today? I'm not finding it. If someone can point me in that direction, drop a link or something like that, that'd be great.
Let me see. I can see if I can get it. I got one right here. Mine's on Bleacher Report.
Okay.
Blake Schuster. Yeah, I'll see if I can send it from my phone.
All right. While you're doing that, Steph,
what do you think? What do you think about that, son? Or anybody?
It's I'll let you get it on that.
As far as like what the two of them give us, you know what I mean? Like I just feel like if everybody's at their best, we have guys that can do what Oladipo does. If everybody's at their best, we don't have people that can give us what
I do agree. I do agree with you there. At their best, we don't have a guy that can give us what Andre Drummond does. Because you can't teach that type of girth that Andre Drummond has, right? All of our big men are skinny.
Yeah.
The only question I have is, well, I guess you have to move one of the guys, either Mitch or Nerlens Noel, if you're going to bring in Andre Drummond. One of those two guys is going to have to go because, I mean, they've been cogs in your rotation, right? So one of those two guys would have to go. Who knows how that would work out. But I definitely understand what you're saying. And I can understand where, Oladipo too,
Yeah, for sure.
You would like to be able to bring in two guys like that. One, but we don't have that many assets to be able to bring. Well, we could bring in both, but then you might be weakening your team, and I don't think they want to do that. I do understand where you're going at, though, where, you got to have, if you're looking at playoffs and how you compete in the playoffs, you may need some size to be able to compete with some of these bigger teams that's out there. I get that.
The only reason I would go to Depot, Sim, is just because our weakest spot is the small forward for the starting team. I think when Mitch and them are giving us all year that defense, that anchor, that defense down there. But what I mean by Oladipo is he going to give you almost 20 points, 12 to 13 points more than Reggie Bullock, and is a top defender. Off defense team. I just think that Oladipo, you got three guys in that starting lineup who you don't have to throw the ball to. He can go get it himself off the dribble. Like him, RJ, and Randle, they don't need you to pass the ball to them, and that's why being that Oladipo fits that small, that two guard, three, whatever, RJ. And the cat is coming to his own, dropped 33 last night. I think that Oladipo is starting to get back into the groove. But I just think that on this team, I don't think Reggie Bullock can hold us down going through the playoffs with that starting unit. Because if a couple of them go cold from 3-point line, then it's going to be a mess. But I think Oladipo straight gives you what you need at the small forward because he fits what Tom Thibodeau like. Tom Thibodeau like a wing defender. We in a wing defender league. We in a wing league now where cats are dropping threes all over the place. You know what I mean? So to have him in that starting lineup on the wing, you know what I mean? I think that give us a better chance against the teams who shoot the three ball well. You know what I mean? And then they go down to the paint. But I think Oladipo is legit for that team. I think he fits what they do. Him, Randle, and RJ can get that ball themselves and go get you a bucket. You know what I mean? And I think that's important going into the second half of the season with this. The way they're going to be playing out there. But I mean, this is my opinion. I'm not saying nobody's wrong. I just think that Oladipo fits his team better because we need that guy at that small forward spot. And the reason why we could be way over 500 right now, and we had that dominant wing guy who can get you at least 19, 20 every night instead of 10 one night, 0 the other night. Even Alex Burks, 2 tonight, 20 another night. We can't have that. We need a consistent wing who's going to give us that 19 or 15, 17 every night. And I think Oladipo does that with Tom Thibodeau with his defense. That's the only reason I picked him because Mitch and my man will hold that defense backcourt down all season long like they've been doing. And I just think our weakest spot in that whole team to me is the small forward
Okay.
spot.
I mean, I can see the arguments on both sides.
Right.
On both sides, man. I can see the arguments on both sides.
Or
And
you
we'll
can't
see.
play him at the 3.
Well,
No, he
I
had the
mean,
two. He had the
RJ
two.
would go to the
RJ
3.
RJ would have to.
RJ's at the 3. He's at
Right.
the 2.
RJ would go to
I
the
mean-
3. Oladipo would go to the 2. But, it would fill those 2 spots. Those 2 spots would be filled. Who knows? We'll see. Steph, do you think this team is going to be the same coming back from the All-Star break?
No, I hope not. But I'm not quite sure what moves they're going to make. But I don't think it's going to be the same. I think they are going to make some moves over the All-Star break.
Yeah, and I know what move you prefer. Right? You prefer they go out and get Victor.
You know what? I think both of them would be relatively cheap, and we would still have assets left. Like, I'm with you, Sam. I don't want to give up a lot of assets so that if a big fish hits the market, we don't have the assets to go after them.
Right.
That being said, I don't think Oladipo would cost a lot. I don't think Drummond would cost a lot. The only issue I have with Drummond, I mean, if you're just looking at him individually, I like him. But for this team, I like a center that's a little more nimble, that can that's a rim protector, that could play pick and roll defense. I like that type of center for this team, which Mitch is, Noel is, JaVale McGee is, players like that. Like, even when we talk about Cat, I'm still like, I mean, in a vacuum, I love him. But for this team, his defense, I mean, I don't know, maybe, Tibbs would be able to get something out of him. That's my only issue with Drummond. He's not the type of center I like for this team. Mm-hmm. That being said, he can rebound. I'm pretty sure he could defend the post. He can give us the scoring that we don't have. I think it changes things for us offensively and defensively with Drummond. But if we get him, I'm all right with it, but I think we could get both of them without having to give up to so much assets that we would be out of the running if a good player came along. Oladipo, listen, he's not an efficient player. Don't get me wrong. I like him. He's a two-way player, but I'm picturing him at his best, right? But this year, he's not playing efficiently. My hope is that we would get him on the cheap and that he would round back into form next year and the year after that, right? I mean, I don't think he's at his best.
Or even in the playoffs. I don't think he's at his
best right now. Or even in the playoffs. Like the other night, he scored 30-something points, but he was 9 for 20 or something or 9 for 25 or something like that. So he's not at his best right now, but I'm thinking we can get him get him for cheap. And yes, right. I agree with Tony that we got people on the team that could do what he does. He's not that efficient this year either, but I think I have more faith in Oladipo than Bullock and Burke right now. I mean, they've had pretty much most of the season to show us that
you know what?
Even 9 for 20, they're not gonna get us 30. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even on an inefficient night, they're not gonna get us 30. So I'm all right if the Knicks stand pat, but I think we could get both of those guys and still have assets for a big fish if it comes down the pipe.
Tony, go ahead, and then I'm gonna come to the city and see what he thinks. And then after that, I want to talk about how do we get, like, how would we, what moves would we have to make to get both? Go ahead, Tony.
Okay, two things real quick. The Burks and Bullock thing, I was down on both of them a lot, but every time I'm down on them and then I go look at the numbers and their percentages, it's like, man, do they need to take more shots? Is that what it is? Because they're shooting good percentages, especially from three. I mean, they both have their issues individually, and we're going off the eye test. So obviously I see those things. But if you look at their numbers though, it's like, man, they're shooting good percentages. You had mentioned McGee, and I was talking with Zach after my Knicks and Bruises with him, and he had mentioned JaVale McGee. And to be honest, I wouldn't be opposed to Oladipo and JaVale because we could get both of them on the cheap and really not have to. The thing with Drummond, like Slim said, we're gonna have to match the salary. So JaVale, he's a guy that's similar to Mitch and Noel's, but he's bigger and stronger.
That's
true. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he could potentially do the things that I'm asking for, and he kind of fits that same mold as the guys we have. So I think that's another interesting move. I don't know how it's being considered or not, but you know.
Yeah. City. Give me your take. Knicks different team when we come back. Not a slightly different. Let's say that. You think?
I'm gonna say the team stays the same, and whatever moves we make, we're gonna make in the off season. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna play with house money in the off season. We ain't gonna do it in the middle of the season. Break up the continuity and everything, the team equity, the strength, the guys that the things that these guys are doing. I don't think we're gonna mess with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think at the end of the day, we're gonna wait for the off season, try to get a big fish. If not, then we're gonna play the numbers game. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna start moving the draft picks and saying, hey, look, we'll give you this guy for this, and that. And then we're gonna try to sign this guy for this, like, you know what I mean? And then we're gonna try to trade this guy for this, and that. So I think I think the front office main focus is finishing out the season, like, you know what I'm saying? And not shaking anything up too much and letting these guys, because they're doing good right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you don't want to break the team spirit by, us fans, yeah, we got our talk, but you don't want to break the team spirit by, like, you know what I'm saying, coming out and saying, oh, guess what? We looking to do this and we looking to do that. Like, this is all fan stuff that we talking, like, you know what I mean? Our front office, Leon Rose, ain't never said nothing about we looking to get rid of this guy and this guy and this guy.
Well,
like,
no,
you know
I mean, I mean, we know they're not. Yeah. I mean, they're not going to say that to us, but you know, I think behind those doors, they're always talking about how they can make the team better. What does it take? See, I don't know. Hey, what's poppin', brother? How you feeling?
What's up? My name's Charles. Charlotte, North Carolina, by way of Brooklyn.
Okay, appreciate you, my man.
But I was listening to what you guys are saying, and I think that the Knicks need more scoring, and I think they need it from the wing position because they struggle. You know, there's times they go on a drought. And I like Bullock and I like Burks, but there's times they can go and not score anything. And it puts too much pressure on Julius and too much on RJ. If you had somebody like Oladipo, defenses would have to respect what he can do. It'll open the floor up more. I think if you try to put Drummond in, and you would have to get rid of Noel or, somebody, it's going to mess the chemistry up. And what Mitchell and what Noel do, they're kind of like mirror images of one another. So what they do as far as defensively, you know, that's part of the core of the Knicks defense. So I don't really want to mess with that. But, you know, Oladipo might be playing poorly because he's definitely not happy in Houston. I saw a press conference with him the other day. You can just look on his face that he doesn't want to be there. So, you know, who knows? It might be subterfuge for him to get out of there. But right. I think you have much more of a upside to him versus Andre Drummond.
Okay.
And that's pretty much what I have to say.
Okay. All right. Appreciate the call, man. Appreciate the call.
I appreciate y'all. Good show. Awesome show. Thank you.
Thank you. See, I'm not, as far as the upside, with both players, I mean, Andre Drummond, obviously gives you 17 points, 13 boards a game. And I think he gives you that same exact thing with the Knicks. with either player, I don't think you can discount the Tibbs effect. Even with Oladipo, shooting a low percentage, is it because he's just off, or is he shooting bad shots? Because maybe right now this is what he has to do being in Houston. He has to be the guy getting buckets. They got John Wall. Neither one of them guys ever seem to be healthy at the same time. They played a few games together. How much does that change? Does his shot selection change if he's playing for the Knicks? Right? And is he taking better shots, taking cleaner shots? Because, you have Julius Randle there too, drawing a lot of attention. You never know. You just never know. Call you live. What's popping?
Hey, Sim. What's up? It's JP.
Hey, JP. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good. I feel
good,
good,
to the
man.
Chat. Good night to the chat.
Yeah. Thank you. Feel good. We won going into the All-Star break above 500. I don't know if we can ask any more than that.
Yeah. Congrats to the Knicks for that. I mean, is it the first time in 8 years that we've been over 500?
I think it's the first time. Yep. I think it's the first time since 2013.
That is so sad to say, but I'll take it. But so I have one grievance.
Okay.
First off, I would say that I'm quite sure the front office would like to make moves, but I prefer whatever moves they make, it gets done in the off season. So anything that we do, it has to be minimal. But the front office has to save Thibodeau from himself. You have to get rid of Burke or Bullock. You can't have both of them on this team. Because I'll use Frank for an example. We finally have this guy shooting without thinking and scoring, no less. He's actually doing what we want him to do. We want him to do for the past 3 years. And we're not taking advantage of that. And I think Thibodeau doesn't have the concept of, feeding the hot hand. Because I think there was a game a couple of days ago where Obi Toppin, in the little minutes that he does get, he had like 2 or 3 baskets and he was quote unquote hot. So it's like, today's, Obi's night. And Thibodeau will sit him. Or, Frank scores 3 3-pointers in a row and he gets benched. I see that happen with Quigley and sometimes with RJ even. And I'm like, come on, dude. You know what I mean? He's a good coach and, he's definitely better than what we've had. I can't complain. I'm not going to nitpick, but there's certain things that he does that just drives me crazy. I can't watch it for the rest of the year. I just can't. They have to do something with Bullock. I'd rather see Frank, or they need to do something with that rotation, because if you look at that second half schedule, that thing is a beast.
It is?
I mean, you can't, huh?
No, I said it is. Yeah, it's definitely a beast.
The first 4 games, you got the Bucks, Thunder, I think the Nets, and the Bucks are waiting for us because we smacked them by like 30 points.
Right.
They're waiting. They are waiting. So I mean, I don't want to nitpick on the rotation because we had a coach who we couldn't get him. Fizdale had every day we had a different starting lineup.
Right.
So I'm glad that we have a consistent rotation, but he needs to bend. You have some players that are not going to they're not going to be playing well, and I get it. But when someone like Frank's playing well, and when Obi's playing well, and RJ even, you have to give him that leash. Because I could only imagine what it is for Frank. He's like, I can't catch a break. You want me to score. You complain that I'm not aggressive, and I'm finally doing those things, and I'm being benched. I could only imagine what that would do for his confidence, where he's actually doing what the organization wants. Right. And we pat him on the back for that, because obviously he's working behind the scenes. He hasn't played in 2 months. And for him to come off the bench and, contribute the last 4 games the way he has, I mean, that is very hard to do.
Yeah.
So, Frank, I don't know.
Yeah, Frank played 12 minutes and 57 seconds. And, I think he took that second unit out. He snatched them out because they started, the lead started to dwindle. And maybe Frank didn't deserve to be taken out. I'd have to go back and look at it a little more in depth to see, what was happening during that time. But I think Frank in San Antonio, well, obviously Derrick Rose wasn't there, so he played some good minutes. I get what you're saying. There are some times when Thibodeau leads some guys long.
It's not even Frank. I think it's not even Frank. I just think it's Tibbs and how he, there's certain players that he loves. Like, I get it. The Knicks should not have let Detroit get back into that game. Like, I was kind of hoping that Randle would be able to sit for the majority of that fourth quarter, and it didn't work out that way. But, I mean, there's been many games when, he'll ride Randle until the wheels fall off. But then you'll have Quickly, who's having a good game, or RJ or Frank or whoever else, and they don't have that long of a leash. And I don't get that, because I'm like, you can't – I understand that Randle is in good shape, but I'm telling you, riding him all these minutes at some point is gonna catch up to him. So you have to utilize that bench a little bit more.
Yeah, I hear you.
You need to ride your young. And it's not like, as much as I love the fact that he's in the All-Star game, he can't even rest for the next week because he's going to be part of the festivities.
Yeah, I hear you. We'll see what he does as he starts to learn and trust people. Hey, JP, I'm gonna send you an email. So if you get a chance, sometime tomorrow, check out your email. All right.
Will do. Have a good night to the chat.
You too. Have a great night. Appreciate you, JP. Tibbs is gonna be Tibbs, man, and he's gonna play the players that he trusts. I think that's what it really comes down to, the people that he trusts the most. And me, just speaking on Tibbs' behalf a little bit, I'd rather go down with the people that I trust than the people that I don't trust. You know what I'm saying? If I'm in a battle. Big shout out to RC Creative. He said, add Dwayne Dedmon, Damari Carroll, and go get DJ Augustine. All low risk, medium reward. I'm not crazy about DJ Augustine. Dwayne Dedmon can rebound the ball and battle a little bit. Damari Carroll, he can shoot the three, play some defense, and be a three. I think we need someone more dynamic to score. You know what I'm saying? If the Knicks are looking to do what we think they're trying to do with this team, and when you add Derrick Rose, not that Derrick Rose is this big superstar, but you add Derrick Rose, then they're probably looking to try to do something more than maybe we're thinking. You know what I mean?
I think that's chemistry buster right there. That's too many players to try to bring into a team and a halfway season. 3 players. That's why I like the Drummond or Oladipo. Yeah, just get us one good player. You know what I mean? If it's Oladipo, if it's Drummond, if it's whoever. But we don't need no 3 dudes though, because that's going to mess up that chemistry big time.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, and if something is going to happen, I hope that it happens over the All-Star break. Early in the All-Star break, where they have some time to practice before they start playing. I don't like having it. I don't want it that. If you're gonna make trades, to me, I like to have it completed in either the first half of the season or an area like the All-Star break, so that when you get going, you got time. You got enough time to let that thing come together. You know what I mean? Let me get to this phone call and I'll come to you, Tony. Caller, you live. What's poppin'?
Victor, not the answer.
You said Victor.
No, Victor is playing.
I heard him. He said Victor's not the answer, but caller, you live. What's poppin'?
Sam was good. It's Julito, man.
Julito, what's going on, man?
What's up, family? I miss y'all, man. I know I said I'd be back this week, but been ripping and running. But shout out to the chat. Shout out to Tony, Devon, City, Queen Stephanie. Good to see y'all, family. We above 500 going into the second half of the season. How remarkable! I think Tibbs is coach of the year. I think if he's not top 2, the NBA. I know they got it out for us already, right? Like, look what they did with us so quickly. But if he's not in the conversation as coach of the year, somebody needs to be fired immediately. That's number one. To be honest, Tim, I owe an apology to Julius. I know I did it already on the show. But, man, Julius Randle, man. I was just reading just now the Players Tribune article, man. How such an amazing individual, such a leader.
Yeah.
What he's doing for us is necessary, man. So Julius Randle is that guy, and I owe him an apology. But, as far as trades, real quick, man,
you broke up a little bit. I don't know.
You hear me now?
There we go. I don't know.
Okay.
There we go.
AirPods, man. These Apple AirPods, man. Wasting money, man. I would say I was watching Oladipo the other night, man. I don't think he's that great of a player. I'm not going to lie, man. He gives what he gives on offense, but I was watching him the other night on ESPN, and I was just like, I'm not wasting $20 million on this guy, man. I'm not doing it. I think we need to go get a Terrence Ross out of Orlando. I think to put Terrence Ross in this system, we need to apply folk in this system that don't need the ball in their hands, and they're used to being players that are just not Tom Thibodeau situational, but situational players. Right? Not Tom situational. But we need Terrence Ross, his entire career, he was a 6-man. I think coming over here, he would know he is going to play a role for us. It's Julius Randle's team. He's going to fit right in. I love what y'all said about JaVale McGee. I think he already knows at any given moment he could get playing time or not. He could go. One night it could be a DNP. The other night we may need him for 25 minutes, right? We need players like that that's going to fit into the system and into the locker room. You talked about it earlier there on the road, going to the gym every day. It's a brotherhood. I think if we add a Oladipo, his energy, I'm not sure if it fits with these young guys. I'm not sure if Drummond with that contract, even though it's an expiring, I'm just not sure if it fits with this team and this system. Let's go get a Terrence Ross. Let's go get a McGee. But I do believe that's going to be a different team. If not one player, it's going to be a different team come next week. And I think we're going to make some noise in the playoffs. I think for the Knicks, if we win 2 games in the playoffs, that's making noise. Coming from one of the worst teams in the last 5 years, that's making noise.
I'm with it. Yeah, I'm with that 100%. I'm with it. And listen, I'm a big fan of having Terrence Ross come to this team. One, because of the way he plays and his contract. I know it's a 3-year contract, but it fits right into the money that we already have available. You know what I mean? Fits right in there perfectly, and you don't have to, you still have all this flexibility for the future. You know what I mean? That's why I really, really am interested in him.
And his age fits.
And his age,
I mean?
Right.
20, he's 20,
like 29 or something, I think. Somewhere around
he's
there. 30.
But he coming off the bench, being a 6-man, he does not have a lot of wear and tear. So being a consistent 6-man most of his career, that means plug him in the starting spot. Got a good 3-4 years out. He's a shooter. He's a Knick killer. So anytime Knick killer come to the Knicks, they at least produce for a season. Let's go get Terrence Ross. Let's go put the Nets or the Celtics next year, and then we probably Cat or something like that. But if not, I'm okay with just having a gritty, hungry team. Let's show people we that we've been all these years.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, Julito, I appreciate you, man. And looking forward to having you back on the show, man.
Family.
Yeah, take care of your business
I'll
out
be back
there.
soon. I'll be back against the Bucks. The first game back. Let's get it, man. I'll see y'all soon. Love to everybody.
All right. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. And, one other thing I wanted to mention, he brought up that Julius Randle. I think it was for Julius Randle to look at and understand where he fell short last year and to make that change and say, I needed this chance to reintroduce myself to the city. I think that right there says it all about his change, his transformation. So, yeah, definitely big shout out to Julius Randle. And Evergreen, what's going on, man?
What's going on, fellas? What's going on, everybody? Steph, what's going on? Hope everybody
good. How are you?
well. Go Knicks. We got
Knicks.
a W. We about to get Drummond. I don't care what nobody say. We about to get my boy Drummond. The Mount Vernon.
I had a question for you, Evergreen, but go ahead.
What's good? Nah, ask away, Steph. Ask away. I was just getting ready to ramble.
Do you have any concerns that Drummond is going to change the way we play on offense and defense? Really?
Not
that
on
we're
defense.
Gonna have...
Not on defense. I'm not concerned. Here's why. Right? I think he's better, and this is what people aren't. I think he increases what we have on defense. Amongst the league right now, Andre Drummond is second in rebounds. He's fifth in steals as a big man.
You know that.
And he's 16th in blocks per game. Who are top blockers in top 10 blockers? Mitchell Robinson, Nerlens Noel are up there. So out of all 300 and some odd players in the league, he's 16th. I don't think that changes much, right? If anything, we might get hell of a lot more fast break points because he's stealing the ball in the front court. He's not playing that ball in the 3-point line. So I think we got to upgrade on a defensive end with Andre Drummond. There's so many crazy narratives out there that Andre Drummond doesn't play defense or he doesn't move, he doesn't move horizontally and all this other stuff. But it's the stats speak for themselves. But then the thing is Andre Drummond is an empty stat guy. I made a post on Facebook about this the other day. That narrative that Andre Drummond, that narrative of an empty stat is an excuse for lazy analytics, in my opinion. So I think getting Andre Drummond here, who's second in blocks, fifth in steals, the job of the person to steal the ball, that's mostly guards. When you get into the paint, now you're looking at blocks going up, but he's fifth in steals. That says a lot. And I'm thinking 16th in rebounds, 16th in blocks is not too far off. So I think we get an upgrade. And then, with all that he can do in the paint as far as scoring, that's an upgrade on all ends. And I don't think a downgrade from 8th in blocks, which is where I think Mitchell Robinson stands right now, and 16th in blocks out of 300 some odd players is really a bad drop off. So bring the Mount Vernon boy down to New York City. Bring him where he belongs, right here in New York City. Now, offensively, that is going to change some things because, that's going to change the lob. We're not going to get many lobs when he's on the ground. But what you substitute with lobs, you get with him being able to make his own plays in the paint. And I think, what you lose from Nerlens Noel's 5 points a game or Mitchell Robinson's 10 points a game, you gain an additional 10 points with him averaging 19 points a game right now. And he hasn't played for 2.5 weeks, and obviously the average don't change, but once he gets back on the floor, man, I think we got a significant upgrade with Andre Drummond if we decide to get him. If we don't get him, I understand. I don't want to trade for him. I want him to be waived by Cleveland and we pick him up. That's right. The perfect world option that I want.
That's definitely the perfect option. If he's waived and then you pick it up. That's right there. That's straight up a no-brainer. Clear, just a straight no-brainer. But then you're not adding him until after the trade deadline. The trade deadline isn't until March 25th. So you're not adding him until after the trade deadline. And then, of course, it doesn't really work out for Andre Drummond or the Knicks if he's it does work out for the Knicks because you can get him cheap. And how it does not work out for the Knicks is that now you don't have his bird rights. Okay, because, you're picking him up at this, you forego his bird rights, and it kind of starts over. Well, if you trade for him, and I'm not saying go out and trade for him, all I'm saying is if you do trade for him, you have his bird rights, and now Andre Drummond, it helps Andre Drummond as well with the length of his contract and stuff like that. So there's some things that play into it, but then, of course, the Knicks have to give up probably not a first-round pick or anything like that, but you got to give up. You got to be able to get that salary in there. You got the $15 million that can maybe $14 million now because you got to pay Julius Randle an extra $1 million, and I think it comes out of that salary. So now you got about $14 million. You got to come up with another $14 million. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. So we will see. Big shout out to Afro Jedi. He said, "Let's go Knicks. It feels good to be over 500 at the All-Star break." Mm-hmm. And then Kyle Williams, he said, "Let Tibbs be Tibbs." Winning record, and the Knicks are relevant again and competing again. His rotations only need to make sense to his players, not the fans. You're exactly right. It only needs to make sense to the players, not the fans. That's the only thing that really counts. As long as the players knows what he's doing and he knows what he's doing, right, and they keep winning basketball games, I get it. Hopefully he will. Big shout out to Donald Cannon. Thank you for the super chat. He said, salute to the chat. He said, I'm not sure if you talked about this. Let me see the rest of it. See if I can get the rest of it up here. He said, I'm not sure if you talked about this or not, but how do you feel about Randle working with other All-Stars? And do you think he will be like USA Melo and turn up in the second half? We'll see how much work they get in when they're at the All-Star game if he's working with those other guys. I do, right now, Randle, the way that he's playing, I mean, it looks like it's becoming easier and easier for him, it seems like, as time goes on. It's crazy. When I watch him, it's become like the jump shot is just smooth. The mid-range, the fadeaway is just smooth, and it just seems like things are becoming easier and easier. Now, when we get into the second half, defenses are going to get stiffer. Strategies are going to be better. Teams are no longer going to be figuring out what they have. They're really going to be fighting for these playoff spots, and you're not going to have as many guys sitting out. It's going to be the intensity level is going to be different, I think, in the second half. So the Knicks are going to have to be ready to play, and Julius Randle is going to have to be ready for it too, because now everybody's got videotape. They know what he's doing, and they're going to bring that pressure against him, and we'll see if he can continue to do what he's doing. He hasn't had a bad stretch yet. He's had some bad games, where he'll play bad one night, but he'll come back the next night, right? But he hasn't had a bad stretch where, he's gone 5-6 games and just not played well. Caller, you're live. What's pop?
Hey, what's up, Sims? What's up, the panel?
What's going on with you?
I just wanted to touch base on that Andre Drummond situation.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with what Stefania was saying. I don't think that we should mess with the chemistry that we have. Leon Rose, he's pressed all the right buttons in the offseason. I feel like getting Andre Drummond would kind of cancel some of that. We got what we got out of Nerlens Noel. He's been playing good. I feel like today he's had his best game of the year. I mean, take that with a grain of salt. We played the Detroit Pistons. But him and Julius Randle, I think they complement each other very well. That's something that I don't hear much talk about. 7-2, Noel being a starter. And Julius, he's able to get those rebounds when Noel's there contesting those shots. And as far as Evergreen, that's it. The stat situation you were mentioning with Drummond and Noel is kind of hard to compare because Noel was getting 18 minutes a game at one point. Now when you compare his 40 minutes, 35 minutes that Tibbs loves to give his starters, you're looking at 3 blocks, 3 steals a game, 8 points, which, you know, in this offense, it's tough to get your points. As we know, we don't have no facilitators, no penetrators. So anybody who's scrapping and getting theirs at the 5 is huge. I wanted to see what you guys thought about that Julius Randle and Nerlens Noel combo.
Yeah, I like what you said there, because I do agree. I do think that they're complementing each other well on that defensive side of the ball. You know, and Noel is doing a great job patrolling the paint, and he's doing it differently, I feel, than Mitchell Robinson, the way that he's getting his blocks. You know,
I mean, that's experience. You know, that's 8 years in the league. I mean,
Yeah.
At 26, playing 8 years in the league, he's heard all the terms. I feel like he's been a great addition. And all our other players that we've gotten for $5 million a year, he's kind of carried, like he's kind of held that slouch. You know, he's been the guy that has made Austin Rivers and Alec Burks kind of a forgotten topic. What do you guys think about that?
Well, hold on, let me get back to that. But with Nerlens Noel and Julius Randle, I really like the point that you made about Nerlens Noel changing shots, blocking shots, and then Randle's getting the rebounds, because I do feel like they bring an intensity on that defensive side of the floor that is really, really working. You know, if Nerlens Noel could just do a little bit more on the offensive side, it could really, really look nice. Of course, he doesn't have that, you know, big body to deal with some of those big guys down there. But yeah, I agree with what you said about them guys. Now, what was your question with the second?
I mean, for the sample size that we've gotten so far, they've matched up against some pretty good bigs as well. You're looking at Miles Turner and Sabonis, Capella. They went up against Cat, and overall they're 7-2 in their last 9 games. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what raised my eyebrows. And I think looking forward, I think we kind of have a good situation with the 5. I don't think we mess with that.
Okay. All right. So what was you saying? What was your next one?
I kind of forgot what my next situation was, but
all right,
to be honest,
my bad.
To be honest, I want to hear what you guys have to say about that combo and going forward. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah. Big shout out to Kareem. He said barbecue chicken with some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce.
There you go.
And then Roberto Colon, he said Mo Bamba is the way to go. The kid has a huge upside and doesn't kill out chemistry. And under Tibbs, Robinson and Mo Bamba could be very dangerous. I do like Mo Bamba. I think, you know, he's got to get his motor up a little bit more to me. But I like that kid, man. I like what the potential that Mo Bamba has in the league. You know, I don't know exactly what, you know, we're talking about a lot of players, you know, from Orlando. I don't know what Orlando was thinking about doing. You know, right now, the Orlando Magic are 13-23. They're towards the bottom of the league. Doesn't look like they're going to be making too much of a comeback. They may be looking to get rid of some players and move some players. I heard Evan Fournier is available, might be available. Would you be interested in Evan Fournier? Go ahead, Evergreen.
One of my boys down in Orlando says, you know, he's got the inside scoop that Orlando's about to blow that team up.
Okay.
And you know, he's a big Magic fan, and you know, so this might be, you know, a good opportunity to fish around with that Terrence Ross situation that you were talking about. But you know, inside sources say that Orlando's about to blow that team up. You know, so I wouldn't mind, you know, snagging a guy or so from there, whether it's Mo and Terrence somehow, you know, to clear up some cap space and add some depth to us so that we can potentially compete with the Sixers. That's really all I'm worried about right now.
Okay. Let me get to this phone call. Ishmael Rivas, thank you for the super chat. He said, great show. I appreciate it. He said, what do you think about us trading for Evan Fournier? He could play the 2 or the 3. He's an upgrade over Burks and Bullock. And that's what we were just talking about. Evan Fournier. My only question about him is his defense. Does he come in and give us the same type of defense? We know he can shoot the ball. Caller, you live. What's popping?
So what's going on? I'm going to ask y'all a question.
All right.
With the player Noel, would any of you guys entertain the idea of trading Mitch?
I mean, for who? For who are you saying?
I don't know. I'm just saying, would any of you guys entertain the idea of including him in the trade?
I would. I know there's some people that wouldn't, but I would in the right trade. Yeah, I would definitely consider that idea.
All right. And another question.
Not shopping him.
If Noel come back next year, what do you think he's worth? What would you pay him? What's the most you would pay him? Because he's on a 1 year right now.
He's on a 1 year, $5 million. That's a good question. That is a really good question. It is hard to say.
Really is.
It is hard to say what he'd be worth. I think he's worth more than $5 million.
Definitely.
Right.
I think he's worth more than 5. But the 5, Noel was a first round pick. I think 6 overall. And this is the most money he's ever made in his entire career.
Right.
He went to Philly, Dallas, OKC, and this money he's making this year is the most he's ever made in his entire career.
It's the most?
So it is.
Other than his rookie contract, probably.
Yeah, he turned down $70 million in Aiden.
Yeah, I know. He turned down like $70 million. Man. I don't know. So, I mean, maybe he's worth what, $10 million a year? You think?
I give him 18 for 2.
For the Stars, I'm gonna say Noel. I give him 9.
9, okay, all right, $9 million a year for a couple years. Okay,
that's what I do.
I mean that sounds about right.
Appreciate
you, man. That sounds about right. I don't have him on the line, but let's listen to Tom Thibodeau in his post game press conference, and hear what he's got to say about going into the break. This is Tom Thibodeau, folks.
The season in the books at this point, you guys are 19 and 18. How would you describe where you guys are as a team, particularly with the playoff run ahead?
Well, there's some good things that we did, and obviously some things that we have to improve upon. And the break comes at a good time. We've had a difficult schedule in terms of travel, and get a chance to gather, take a look at the first half, dig into it, and then, of course, be ready for the second half. And the challenge will be great. So it should bring the best out in us, but just don't change our approach. Concentrate on improvement each and every day. Be ready for Milwaukee. That'll be a great test for us first game out.
Steve Popper, Newsday.
Hey, Tom, we know he doesn't get a break, but he's headed to the All-Star game. But just kind of, can you sum up what you see from Julius this first half of the season?
Yeah, just it's amazing. He's, he's turned into an All-NBA player. He's been a terrific leader. And until you're around someone every day, and, our workouts in the summer, and, I saw that he was special. I'm very close with the guys who coached him in New Orleans. And they all they said, you're going to love him when you coach him. And that holds true, like after being around him. And then the way he's changed his game, my big concern going into the season was the shooting, the three-point shooting. And he was so diligent with his work, and he's become a terrific three-point shooter. But he's got an all-around game. He can put it on the floor. He can post up. He can finish through contact. He can catch and shoot. He can run the offense. Defensively, he's really made great strides. The rebounding's been terrific, but it's more his leadership too. He's a great worker and sets a great example for the team. So he's been terrific, and the impact on winning has been huge. And so it's not his individual statistics. That's what he's doing for the team, and that becomes contagious. And we've had a number of guys step up and really play well. I think the way RJ's coming along, Mitch and Nerlens stepping in, the rim protection's been terrific. But we have a great group of veterans that really play hard, and they play for the team. When you look at what Reggie does every night, he's sort of an unsung hero. Plays great defense, guards the toughest perimeter player, spaces the floor, makes plays, gives us the catch and shoot stuff. Alfred stepping up. Now we're getting a chance to see Frank play as well. So the all around team play, the willingness to sacrifice. The two young guys have been great in terms of, what they've brought to the team in terms of energy and attitude and soaking things up from the vets. So, and then of course Derek and Taj, and all the guys. I don't want to overlook what Theo's brought and Austin Rivers. All those guys, they're all contributing, and it's important.
Ian Bagley, you have some more?
Tom, obviously Frank, not in the rotation, and he was out. And, what does it say about him that he's able to just, when he gets on the floor, he's able to impact the game, knock down shots? What do you think about that? And just in general, what do you think?
He's been terrific. Not in the rotation. Basically, the practices have become his games. He's there early. He's with the early group. That we have a number of guys who come in early to do some extra stuff as a group. Not they're in the individual stuff is that's a given, but to do it as a group, and then they also have the same commitment in the evening. So we have a number of guys that have put a lot of extra work in, and it's paid off for them. So, but watching him play and work his way through things and his versatility, basically can play all three positions on the perimeter, and his shooting has really come along. And he hit some big shots for us tonight, but his defense has been huge for us.
Mark Berman, your host.
Hey, Tom, I know you're a very hard worker, but the All-Star break's coming up. How are you going to spend it? Do you take a few days off, or do you dive right into...
Mark, you know me, Turks and Caicos.
Working out the Athletic.
I'm just going to assume that's a joke. I don't know you at all.
Yeah, no, it's, I'll get some time with my family, just relaxing, and then recharge a little bit, and then get ready for the second half.
I just wanted to ask about RJ. The shooting this year, especially the three-point shooting the last about 30 games or so, especially after that cold start. I mean, what have you seen with this jumper that it's become good and consistent?
His extra work. He comes in every night. He's put a lot of effort into it, and he sets up the gun right in front of my office. I think he does it on purpose, but I watch him shoot, and it's terrific. He's found a great rhythm. I think his preparation is giving him a lot of confidence, and that's something that we want him to continue to do. And he's always had the downhill ability, puts a lot of pressure on the rim. He's making good rim reads, but I think the way he's shooting the ball now has really opened up a lot of things for us.
Respect.
Hey, Tom, what do you think of your team's turnaround performance tonight? And what does that say about the metal and the fabric of this ball club?
Yeah, and I think, obviously we were all disappointed with the way the end of the San Antonio game, but that's sort of been the fabric of the team. It's a terrific group of guys to work with. They come in the next day, they want to get right back to it and fix whatever we need to fix and concentrate on who we're going to play in that next game, and they've done that all year. So it's about building the right habits, doing the right things each and every day, and then the results will take care of themselves.
This season.
All right. That was Tom Thibodeau, ladies and gentlemen. He used the words all NBA talking about Julius Randle. Tony, to me, there's a big distinction between an all-star player and an all-NBA player. Is Julius Randle ready to be considered an all-NBA player?
See what he do in the playoffs against some all-stars and some playoff teams. And let's see what he do.
Yeah. I mean, you look, those.
It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's 3 teams. It's possible.
Right. I mean, and I don't know if he, was. I mean, listen, he said all NBA. He's been in the NBA a long time. He knows what he's saying. You know what I mean? Divine, what do you think?
And I agree with you 100%, man. I've been saying it, all early in the year, like Julius Randle literally is balling better than just about anybody in the NBA. This dude is putting that franchise on his back every night. Every single night, he carried the Knicks, and we 19-18. That's what an all NBA player do. He take it upon himself to carry the troops with him and bring them along in battle. And right now, he the captain of that army, man. He bringing them cats along. And he coming in every night, he balling hard. I mean, I see a bunch of NBA games every now and then, but I haven't seen nobody all year that's shooting the way he shoot. That man is consistent, man. I'm like, every night you turn on the TV, Julius Randle giving you 20. It's not even like really a doubt, you know what I mean? The way he playing right now, it's like, okay, we expect that for him. And that tells me, and then he's rebounding, getting up 10 to 15 rebounds every game. I mean, that's amazing. 20 and 15, 25 and 13 and 6 assists. That's all NBA numbers right there. I mean, only thing he might be scoring 27, 28 a game, but I bet if he was scoring 27, 28, we would be saying that. But I'm looking at his performance, to me, he's definitely doing it, man. It is amazing what he's doing for the Knicks organization. Even when RJ Barrett have a bad game, he still get us to the finish line. Of course, with the rest of the guys, but he's the main dude that's getting us there. So, yeah, I salute what Tom Taylor was saying. He playing like an all-NBA player. I mean, that's what I could really say. I don't know if he is one, but he playing like one. Okay. I mean, he's shooting 48% from the field. He's shooting 41% from 3, and that's on – he's taking 4.5 three-point attempts per game. He's making 2 of them. Shooting 80% from the free throw line, 11.1 rebounds, 5.5 assists. If he can get his turnovers down – but I will say this about his turnovers, though. He's creating more. Last year, he averaged 3 turnovers a game. This year, he averages 3 turnovers a game. This year, last year, he played 32.5 minutes. This year, he's playing 37 minutes a game. Right? He's got the ball in his hands a lot more than he did last year, too. And he's turning it over at the same rate that he was last year. So, that means that, his turnover rate is actually lower this year than it was last year because he has the ball in his hands more and he's playing more minutes. So his turnover rate is actually lower. So, I'd like to see it get down to 2 a game. It's not going to happen this season, but maybe one of these days it will. One of these seasons it will. Tony?
I was just gonna say, go look around the league at the number 1 option on every team and look how many turnovers they average.
I was about to say, yeah.
And that's part of the reason too.
Even with that though, but look, man, he leads us in points, rebounds, and assists. Like, you know what I'm saying? What more do you need to do for your team to even be considered in certain talks? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they try to downplay us. I get it. It's the Knicks. But at the end of the day, what he's doing is real. Like, you know what I'm saying? And one thing we can't deny is when he's on the floor, he's our best player. Like, you know what I'm saying? And everything that we do revolves around him. And not only does it do that, but the things that he is doing is showing and proving that he should be considered in all of those talks. You know what I'm saying? Like, each and every one of those talks, he should be considered in it because he deserves it, because he is balling and he's showing out. Like, you know what I mean? On every single aspect of the game. Look at his defense.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Come on, you seen it tonight. Like, look, he came back. I forgot who it was. They took it to the hole, and he blocked it. And Randle got the block. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, we
he was scheming on that block too.
Yeah, he was. And listen. So Tony, I just looked right. Giannis averages 3.7 turnovers a game. LeBron averages 3.8 turnovers per game. I don't even need to go any farther than that.
Right.
I don't need to go any farther than that. You look at those two guys right there, you know, and they play the same amount of minutes as Julius Randle and have, you know, LeBron averages 25, 26 a game. Giannis is like 27, 28 or something like that. But you don't even need to look any farther than that. Caller, you live. What's popping?
Randle is an all-star. I mean, he's a superstar, man. Ain't no way around it, man. He's the superstar. He puts maximum effort on the offense and the defense. I mean, everybody take one or two plays off, but for the most part, Randle is playing hard 99.9% of the game, and he producing. Now, the point I'm trying to make is Randle is in his prime right now. So that's why you keep Randle, you keep all the people that, you know what I'm saying, you keep the core of the team together, which is Randle, RJ, and I would say Mitch and Noel. But everybody else, man, they can go because this is the window. Brooklyn is gonna be better next year because KD ain't 100% healthy this year. So if you want to take a look at this year, man, this is the time that you could really go do something for real, if you go get another stud. And I just got one question before I get off the line. How many picks do the Knicks got this year? Like first-round pick?
We got 2 first-round picks this year. We got our own, and we got one from Dallas. And then we got second-round picks as well. Yep. I think we have one second-round pick from Charlotte. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
And Detroit.
So that's another reason why
and
you
Detroit.
should
That's
go
right.
for it and try to go get a stud because you got picks in this draft. They can say all they want, but a lot of these guys have been working out each and every year. The draft gonna get better, man. The game is gonna elevate. So that's another reason why you go make those trades and you go get a stud because you got draft picks. But that's all I have to say, man. Salute to y'all, man. Y'all doing y'all thing, and have a good one.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you very much for the call. Yeah, listen, you know, a lot of people are, you know, really feeling that Julius Randle was up there, you know, all NBA player, you know. So what do you think? You think he could make all NBA second team? You know, I mean, I don't, you know, you got to look at the power forwards that are in the league and where he could be placed. But, you know, to go from where he was last year, and if he continues to play this way, it's got to continue. If he continues to play this way, and the Knicks, and especially if the Knicks make the playoffs, and he becomes an All NBA player, I mean that's above being an All Star in my opinion. An All NBA player, that's good stuff right there, man.
Sam, if they be snubbing us with the Quickly thing and the RJ thing, man, listen, man, like, you know what I'm saying? They ain't going to give Orange Julius nothing. He going to have to work for it. And he been working for it already. Like, you know what I'm saying? And this is the reason why he needs to be in those talks. Like, I'm not saying that he should get it, but what I'm saying is he needs to be mentioned in those talks. Like, he should be relevant in those talks.
Yeah. As far as the Knicks draft picks, my man just asked us about the Knicks draft picks. The Knicks have a first-round swap with the Clippers, protected top 4. Right? They have the Dallas Mavericks first-round pick, and of course they have their own first-round pick. So, you know, they can swap that pick with the Los Angeles Clippers. Either way, it's going to be one pick, and then they have the Dallas Mavericks pick. You know, so they have 2 picks in the first round. In the second round, they have the Hornets pick. They traded Hernan Gomez to the Hornets for Johnny O'Bryant. In the 2020 second round pick, and the Knicks have this year's 2021 second round pick. Then and they have the Pistons pick, right? They traded the rights to Kyrie Thomas to the Pistons for a 2021 second round pick and a 2023 second round pick So the Knicks have picks.
And that second round pick of Detroit is like the first pick in the second round.
If they continue to be the worst team in the league. Yeah, if they continue to be the first team in the league, they'll be the first pick in the second round, right? So there's some other stuff going on here, is showing all the lines of picks. I need something that's a little bit more. I just want to know the picks. I don't need to know the whole story behind every pick. That's what I was just looking at. I just want to see the pick straight up. What they have. This was showing me the whole story. Let's see. Okay, this one's a little bit better. Now we got our own Dallas's, and then it looks like we only have Detroit's second round pick, not Charlotte's. So what I was looking at, because I was
traded that one for D Rose.
Okay, yeah, exactly. We traded it for D Rose. Right. So we have Detroit second. We have 2 first round picks and Detroit second round pick. There we go. And that second round pick from Detroit is almost going to be like a first rounder. If Detroit is stays this bad. Right now they're the worst team in the league. I don't see them getting any better. So, that right there is. Wait, that's a lot. Caller, you live. What's popping?
What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to you. I'm a long-time subscriber. You were making the videos even when we was trash. You know what I mean? So now we back, and it's good to see your growth. You know what I mean?
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Let me run through a few quick things, try to get it all in. One thing, y'all realize that our whole division is in the playoffs. As of tonight, we in the tough one. Even though the East is kind of like trash, we the toughest division in the East. You know what I mean? And we not in the bottom of it. As long as we can stay out of the bottom of it, I'll be happy.
Yeah. Yo, that's crazy though, right? Philadelphia, Brooklyn, the Knicks, and Toronto. We make up our division makes up half in the Nets. So Philadelphia, Brooklyn, Knicks, Toronto, and Boston. So we make up 5. That's crazy.
Yeah. Now I was watching Joe Budden podcast yesterday, and they had Julius Randle. They called him up, and he said something that stuck with me. He said that they only want certain type of players. You know what I'm saying? It's not all about like what they do on the court and how they perform, but also their mindset coming into what we got has to mesh and gel with what we got. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yo. And to hear it coming from him, from Julius Randle, saying, hey, their mindset has to mesh with what we're doing, and let you know they got a culture there. And Julius Randle is the head of that culture, man. That's what's up.
Yeah.
It's beautiful to hear.
Facts.
Yeah,
well,
man.
I appreciate you taking my call, man, and keep doing what you do. I'll be tuned in, man.
Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you.
All right, thanks.
Peace. Yeah, that's crazy, man. The entire Atlantic Division is in the playoffs as we speak right now. The Philadelphia 76ers, they lead the Atlantic Division. They're 24-12. The Nets are 24-13. You got the Celtics are 19-17. The Knicks are 19-18, and then the Toronto Raptors are 17-19. And, when you look at every other division in the league, the Central Division has 1 team with a winning record. The Southeast Division has no teams with a winning record. The Charlotte Hornets are 17-18. The Miami Heat 17-18. The Hawks are 16-20. The Wizards are 14-20, and the Magic are 13-23. The Northwest Division, they got Utah, Portland, Denver, OKC, Oklahoma. Only 3 of those teams, Utah, Portland, and Denver, have a winning record. And then the Pacific Division, you got the Suns, the Lakers, and the Clippers, and the Golden State Warriors with a winning record. So they got 4 teams with a winning record. And then in the Southwest Division, you got the Spurs, the Mavs, the Grizzlies, and that's it. Those 3 teams have a winning record. So, yeah, the Knicks definitely play one of the best conferences in the entire league, and in one of the best divisions in the entire league. And in the division right now, the Knicks are 1-3 in the division.
Wow.
Yeah, they're 1-3. They lost. Let me see. We beat Boston. We lost to Brooklyn. We lost to Philadelphia, and we lost to Toronto. That's something to look out for, right? Because I mean, obviously it's going to go by your record first, but I'd like to beat some of these teams in our division. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that
Tim,
could
can I
come back
ask you
to
a
bite
question?
us.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, City.
No, I was just saying that could come back to bite us if we're not careful with it.
Right. You know, when you talk about tiebreakers and all that. Yeah, go ahead, Steph.
The question I have for you, Sim, is what's Randle's window in terms of his prime? And do you think the young people, the young players we have on this team are in that window? Like when we talk about the core, like Randle and RJ and Obi and whatever, are they in his window or not, you think?
Oh, that's a good one because, you know, like RJ is so young. So RJ is not going to hit his prime till he's about Randle's age, and that's another 6 years. And then in 6 years, Randle's going to be out of his prime because you figure Randle probably hasn't hit his prime. You know, in my opinion, your prime is usually from like 28 to 32, somewhere around there. Right? So you get 4 good years of actually being in your prime, you know, where your physical abilities and your mental ability kind of match up. So I would think that Randle probably has the rest of this season and next season before he reaches that prime. And then around 28, he'll be in his prime and hopefully can give us some really, really great numbers if he's here. I think he will be, you know, from 28 to 32, 33 years old. Now, then you talk about RJ in another 2 years. He's still just 22. Obi, you know, he plays the same position as Randle. He just turned 23 today. Well, not just turned. He turned 23 today. So he's probably closer to being where he's going to be than RJ is because he's 23 years old. Kevin Knox, Frank Ntilikina, you know, these guys are, you know, Frank Ntilikina, if the Knicks keep him around, you know, he's still got a few years to go before he reaches his prime. But most of our young guys are not close to being in Randle's prime. I don't know if that means they can't be productive, right? But, you know, they're not going to be in their prime.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with you. I was thinking about this the other day, not wanting to waste Randle's prime. I do think our young people can help on a team. But if we're talking about really competing, we're going to need players that are in that same window as Randle in terms of their development and what they can give us on that. In other words, that we can count on them. We have a core group of players that are in that same window that we can count on. That doesn't mean that our young players won't be on that team and won't be helping us. But I think if we're going to try to make a playoff push, a championship push in his prime years, I don't think we could say quickly in them is part of that Randle's core. I think we still need to create a core around Randle, and those young guys can still be on the team. Don't get me wrong, that's not what I'm saying. But I don't think you can have a core where Randle is here and these other guys is years and years behind. I don't think they're in the same cohort, if you can understand what I'm saying.
Right. Because let's just say when you talk about Randle and RJ, and it doesn't mean, like you're saying, it doesn't mean when RJ's 22, 23 years old, he can't be very, very productive. Because obviously it's guys that are very, very productive at that age. You know, but if you talk about when RJ's really in his prime playing form, Randle's going to be on his way out of his prime playing form, you know. So I think it is important that you have at least one or two guys. And I know we have the Bullocks and the Burks and them guys and Elfrid Payton, but you're talking about primary players, right? You know, one or two primary players, like or at least one primary player that's right there with Randle in his prime too. You know, yeah, Tony.
On that same topic, I would be less concerned with RJ, even though he may not reach his prime, or maybe I'm saying his prime may start earlier and last longer because he's not an athlete. He's already a thinker.
That's true.
You know what I mean? He's like a real ball player. You know what I mean? He doesn't rely on just his strength or just his athleticism or just his shooting. Like it's really his full game, and especially like learning under Tibbs, where that accountability. He getting sat. He has to learn and fix things a lot faster than if he was just playing freely and picking up the game as it goes. He's still under the fire. So I think a guy like RJ will definitely be able to, he could slide in that window and then take the realm when Julius's window is closing. I would have to think a little bit more about the other guys, but RJ in particular, I think he could fit right in there. I wouldn't be too concerned.
Right.
He's already started with high production as well. So even at his best, I don't think he's going to be a 30-point scorer every game. You know what I mean? So,
but one of the things you said is really key. You know what I mean? Like having guys RJ's age on the team allows you, when Julius Randle is on the downside, allows you to continue to be a competitive team because you got these guys coming up, right? You got the, Knox and Ntilikina and Obi and these guys coming up that can now say, we got it from here. You know what I'm saying? You can rest, you can relax, you know what I mean? And start to take a back seat a little bit and let us play, But
my point is, Sam, we can't wait for them.
Exactly.
We can't wait for them. But if we waiting for them to be our core, Randle going to be on his downside.
Exactly. So you got to add some pieces you got to add some pieces around them or with them, to try to compete now. That's the whole thing about the Zach LaVines and Bradley Beals too. They're the same exact age as Julius Randle. Zach LaVine, 25. Bradley Beal, 26 to 27. They're right in that same age group. And they're ready to try to get it done now.
Sam, we can't forget. Honestly, I feel like the NBA right now is breaking into a new trend. Like, you know what I'm saying? These young guys that are coming in are balling. Look at your Tatums, your Youngs, like Morant, like any of these young guys are coming in balling. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, don't get me wrong, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking like we on a trend where we're gonna start seeing some of these young guys coming in and taking over. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because look at a lot. I mean, it's like half balance right now when you think about it, right? When you look at it, you got a lot of the vets that are still doing their things, like Kyrie's, Kyrie, whatever, however you want to call it, Harden, whoever else you want to throw out there. But then also name a lot. Think about a lot of the young guys that are on a second year, third year, that are just balling, that are doing their thing. Like, there's a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? So the league is starting to pan out.
I mean, I agree. There's a lot of them, like, they're hooping, but you haven't seen the best of them yet, right? You haven't seen, at their peak powers yet. But, there's a lot of young guys that's balling and can contribute to a good basketball team. Caller, you live. What's popping?
Sam, what's going on, my man?
I'm good. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. This is Isra. It's been a while since I pulled up in the channel, man.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you checking back in with us.
Yeah. I just wanted to get things across. First off, I want to say, go back what the guy was saying about how you evolved on your channel. I still remember those days you had that Skype, man. I'll get people to call up. And we used to hear every single ringtone that everybody used to call, and it was crazy, man.
Yeah, that was definitely crazy. That was the worst. That was the worst.
Oh my God, I remember that. But I just want to say that I want to get across. I honestly think that the Knicks are playing great basketball. basketball right now, but I feel like we don't make no crazy moves right now because realistically speaking, that I don't think, we're probably gonna make the playoffs, and we're not gonna win a championship this year, and I don't think the Bradley deal is gonna happen this year. The only guy I think that we need to probably push for before the trade line is Terrence Ross. And then in the offseason, man, Kawhi Leonard's going to be a free agent, and I feel like he's the guy that we need that one player. He's a defensive guy. His offense is better, and, he's really good with tips. So I want to know what you think about that.
And hey, I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna let you rock because it's kind of breaking up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
I got you. Thank you for taking my call. Yeah, I'm gonna listen in. Oh,
no
yeah.
doubt.
Before you hang up, hold on a second. How do I get on the video chat? It says members only.
Yes. At the bottom of the video, there's a join button. You hit that join button, and it has like some tiers of, and when you become a member there, and then you have access to the link.
I got you. All right. Thank you, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. And first of all, man, some of you guys probably remember, man, going back to them days when I was using Skype to take phone calls, it was terrible. I mean, I'm sitting there, having a conversation, then you hear, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I was like, oh my goodness, I gotta fix this. This can't happen. It was terrible, man, but I'm glad everybody stuck with me, through those times.
Right.
He was asking about, obviously, Terrence Ross is a guy that I like. You know what I mean? He's a guy that I like big time. And about them, sitting pat again. If they sit pat, they don't make a move, I'm cool with that too. You know what I mean? I don't know. Was there something else that he asked? I don't know if I forgot it. I thought there was something else that he asked, but I don't know. But a Terrence Ross, you know what I mean? I'm all for it. Easy. I'm all for it. JD, what's popping, man? Just joining us. See you just getting in the building. I don't even know if you can hear me right now. Big shout out to Afro Jedi. He said, I know he didn't mean to violate, but damn, I don't even know what he's talking about on that one. But I appreciate the super chat, Afro. I appreciate the super chat there. Anyway, man. Sincere said he remembers the timer I had for calls. Yeah, I used to have a timer. I would give everybody 2 minutes to answer the question. That became hard to manage.
What's going on?
You know what I'm saying? It became hard to manage. I had a little timer up there. JD, what's popping, man? What's going on with you? I sent you a chat in the Zoom too. You might want to check that out. What's going on, man? How you feeling about tonight? Feeling good about tonight?
I don't think he can hear.
I think he got it turned off. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, basically for this weekend, man, I will be on tomorrow doing the shoot around tomorrow. JD, can you hear me?
Going on.
He just spoke to you.
Yeah, I responded to you.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I can hear you now. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I can hear you. All right. So check this out, ladies and gentlemen.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, all right, good. So check this out, ladies and gentlemen. We just want to announce that JD is joining the NBK family, man. He's joining the NBK team. So look out for some content.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Coming from JD. Yeah, I got you.
Welcome to the fam, my brother. Bloody and blood out.
Salute.
I don't know if he's getting a 30-second delay or something like that, but yeah, I got you, man. I can hear you, but he's joining the NBK family. Be on the lookout for some content coming like right after the All-Star break. Just be on the lookout for that. Just be ready for it. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. We got some things jumping off, and we got some other things. We got a lot of things jumping off after the All-Star break. Yeah, he said he's real delayed. A couple of things. I don't want to put everything out there yet, but after the All-Star break, look for a couple new shows to come out.
Don't tell him, Sam.
Anyway, huh?
Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Yeah, 'cause we got one. We got a surprise one. I don't want to put that one out yet because I want to get everything in order first before we let it out. You know, we got a nice surprise one that's going to be real dope. Watch. Anyway, Prince, what's going on with you, man? You joined just as we about to jump off. You and JD.
Yeah, man. I forgot when I was on the way home. I had to call the missus, and I was chatting with her. I meant to jump on. As soon as I punched that clock, got it. You know what I'm saying? My NBK fam. I knew what was popping, but 114, 104. I take that. I'm looking at the stats. I don't know if they said Frank was perfect from 3 or something like that. So, man, I ain't see what my baby Knox did. So, you know what I'm saying? I checked the game. I'll probably on the rerun. But, outside of that, we got a W. We going into the All-Star break happy. Hopefully my boy RJ and Julius can corner that dude, Zach LaVine, in the hallway and get the one in the
right.
You know what I'm saying? And make that happen. I wouldn't mind the Oladipo. I'm reading into that. Like Steph said early, a couple weeks ago, I would love Oladipo if it's free. You know what I'm saying? By free, a couple seconds and maybe Austin Rivers. Cool, you can have it.
Hold up. My man, Kevon, he said, if you don't watch anything, you'll see what Knox did.
Okay.
Nothing.
Oh, what do you do? Nothing? Don't do me like that.
That's a good one. I like that one. That's a good one.
So all right. Well, as long as he ain't on Shaq the Fool, and I'm cool. So you know what I'm saying. And he got a little bit of burn. So that's all that matters, man. You know what I'm saying. Outside of that, just looking for a good All-Star break, Sim. You deserve a break. You know what I'm saying. I don't know if you got some content we're gonna drop over All-Star. If not, you know what I'm saying. We definitely got some heat for y'all coming in. You know what I'm saying after All-Star break. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, Sam, I'm happy, man. We got a W going into All-Star break. I would have loved to, go on a 5-game winning streak like we talked about a couple weeks ago. But, 3-2, or did we go 4? What was that? 3-2 or 4-1? Either way.
Yeah, either way.
We over, right? Either way, we over 500, baby. You know what I'm saying? We over 500. So like I said, man, y'all know me. Pound that chat. You know what I'm saying? Pound that like. Respect. Salute to the chat. Salute to the panel. You know what I'm saying? Always love to the Podfather. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? Knicks. Let's do it.
That's it, man. Look, you asked about, I'm not going to be taking a break, man. I'm going to be, I'll probably do something before and after the All-Star game. I'll do the shoot around tomorrow. I'll do something before and after the All-Star game. And then, and then we'll be right back at it next week. So, I'm not really taking a break.
Y'all heard him. Y'all heard it.
Not taking
heard
a break.
Podfather.
We gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it moving because it's gonna be some movement. I think some stuff happening over this All-Star break. So we're gonna keep it moving.
I believe so.
Yeah. Shout out to Hector Gaston. Thank you for becoming a member, and Roberto Colon. Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate you guys. But anyway, I'm about to. You good now, JD?
You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You good now?
All right.
Right.
I think I'm good now.
Well, anyway, okay. So, I'm
just excited for the second half, man. I'm excited for the second half. We have what do we have? We have 5 national televised games, 6 on NBA TV. Oh, now they on that. So, we start off on the road. And we got Milwaukee. We got some tough games to start out. So, I'm excited, man. We're going to play Brooklyn on ESPN, 3rd game on our road trip. This is it. So we're about to find out, you know what I mean? The second half, you're going to start to see a lot of less load management and you're going to start to see teams and the best players on each team, teams that are in the hunt. You're going to start to see those teams ramp it up. So, we have about 8 games until the trade deadline. So I think the start of this road trip is going to be very important because
I don't know that they're going to make a deal until a little bit closer. Them looking at the schedule, the Knicks may want to see, or the organization may want to see how we start off this second half. And that could dictate certain potential deals that are being discussed as we speak. You know, so if we come out of this well, then they may jump at a certain deal that's on the table right now. So I'm just excited, man, because to me, as a fan, they've done enough for me for the first half. So whatever happens in the second half, I'm good.
Okay.
A lot of questions have been answered. Have been answered.
Well, I'm just hoping they keep fighting to make the playoffs. But look, I'm about to head out of here, guys. I appreciate everybody for joining in. Be on the lookout tomorrow about 12:30. We're gonna do the shoot around. All right, and have just talk some NBA, talk about kind of wrap up this first half. Tomorrow, we'll take a look back from the beginning to now, just kind of wrap things up and what we've seen so far throughout the first half and what we should expect going into the second half. Kind of wrap that thing up, put it in a nice little nutshell, and be ready for the next half. So hey, I just want to go around and start with Tony. And, get your last words, and we're going to head out. I do want to remind everybody, go to the top of that YouTube chat, subscribe to the Front Stoop, Hip Hop Society and Life. We are back live on Tuesday. I'm going to say right now, tentatively 9:30 p.m. All right. Next Wednesday, March 10th. On March 10th, we are back live, so make sure you subscribe. We're trying to build the same thing there that we got here. So make sure you get in, man.
Put it back in the chat for the people who came late.
Yeah, I'm going to put it back in the chat right now so that they can get it. So go ahead, Tony, while I'm putting that in the chat.
As always, man, shout out to the chat. Shout out to the panel. It's been a great ride so far this first half. Now we get a little break, and I'm ready for the second half. Like JD said, man, it's show and prove time now. Yeah, your blackest time, Sim. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah, no doubt. Divine?
Oh, yeah, salute to the panel, to the chat, man. Great show. 19 and 18, man, we'll take it, man. Looking good, feeling good, to be a Knicks fan right now, man. We just got to enjoy this all-star break, man. Let the team, let Julius Randle go out there, enjoy yourself out there. Him and RJ and them guys, the Obi, go represent the Knicks real well. And let's get it, man. Real quick. Tomorrow night, Knicks Real Talk, the night show, first half of the season in review. I'm gonna be on. If y'all want to come on, join on, you'll be more than welcome. I drop the link tomorrow from YouTube when I come on shoot around. But yeah, man, I'm excited, man. Y'all just keep these things popping, man. And to all the Knicks fans out there, we see y'all in 7 days, and whatever. But let's get it popping, man. We looking forward to the second half of the season. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be gritty. But we're going to be in there, man. And like I said, hopefully we get to make that one little move that'll make sure we guarantee to stay in that hunt for the playoffs. Because, like I said, anything can happen, whether it be an injury or anything, it can happen. But right now, I'm proud to be a Knicks fan, man. They're giving us some love and as a fan base, man. And I'm excited about it. Let's go get it. New York 19 to 18, man. First half of the season. That's a blessing.
Yeah. Steph?
Shout out to the chat, to the panel, and to you, Sam. What you're building with NBK is real. Just seeing all the other shows out there, they all big you up and they say they came from this tree. So I appreciate you. And the love from the panel. Just being here, this is the first half of the season. This has been great for me, just being able to find people I could talk Knicks with at any time. My family tired of me talking about the Knicks, so be able to find people that don't mind talking about the Knicks
right
all the time is been a blessing. And the NBK fam is going to continue to grow. And welcome JD as well. I'm looking forward to the second half. I trust this front office. I think they know what they're doing. I think the fans can relax. The Knicks are not going to do anything reckless. Everybody wants to hold on to the assets, but trust, they're not going to do something like give up a haul for LeBron, who only got 2 years left. Like, that's not going to happen, you know? So if they give up some picks, it's going to be for somebody that's in that timeline of Julius Randle, and that we're going to be able to get a lot of value out of it. The next half of the season is going to be crazy. I mean, you know, part of our success, as I was saying in the last show, is due to our continuity, our consistency, our chemistry. And that can break. I hope it doesn't. But it can. So hopefully that continues to go strong, and we continue to be a team where the sum is better than each individual part. The playoffs is not guaranteed, but I think if we keep playing the way we playing, it's definitely possible for us, even without any changes.
Right. Yeah. Great. City.
Yo, shout out to you, Sim. Shout out to the chat panel, everybody watching. Hey, Julius, bring that All-Star trophy home. Obi, go get that dunk trophy and bring it home so y'all can clank them together and we can celebrate and do some big things, man. Like, you know, that's the only thing I'm excited about. Like, you know what I'm saying? And with the second half of the season, man, let's just put it like this, yo. Let's just say this, right? It's a tough schedule, but I believe our first half of the season was a tough schedule, and we proved ourselves. So let's just believe in these guys and know that they're gonna do the things that they need to do to take care of business. Because Tom Thibodeau ain't playing. Those players on the floor, they ain't playing. And shout out to Obi for his birthday, and my guy, the Elf of Wall Street, back.
Right, Prince.
Hey, man, always, man. It's always great, even though, you know what I'm saying, short stint. But, you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, you know what I'm saying, with limited minutes, man. It's situational. So, hey. I appreciate that, Power Five. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate these couple situational minutes. You know what I'm saying? But, hey, shout out to chat. Shout out to panel, man. Let's keep growing. Like I said, JD, just like the Queen said, man, welcome to the family. You know what I'm saying? This NBK, you know what I'm saying, thing, it's a way of life. You know what I'm saying? It's about loyalty. And again, man, we welcome you, brother. And those out there in Nickland, hey, support our players in the All-Star game and the dunk competition. And let's get ready for the second half, man. It's going to be a beautiful run, I think. And again, let's not get too high. Let's not get too low. Again, we in a good position right now. So again, we got Milwaukee first game. So again, let's start to see the second half of the season off with a W, and look forward to seeing y'all NBK fans very soon, man.
All right, and JD, end it off.
Right. Well, first, thank you to the whole NBK family. Thank you to you, Sim, for the opportunity, and thank you to everyone, all the members and the whole NBK community for welcoming me with open arms. I really appreciate that. And so, you know, we're going to get it going. And, you know, I'm excited. It's been a while since we've had a Knick represent for the All-Star game. So that will be something for us to look forward to. I want everyone to, you know, take a little mental break. Let's get hyped. Let's get ready for the second half. You know, it's going to be a good one. I'm excited about Randle having a great game tonight. Need that going into the break. Nerlens Noel with a double-double. Elfrid Payton, we're going to need him, whether you like him or not. We need him against these good teams because, as you see with the young players, you don't know what you're going to get from a night in, night out basis, and we're going to need him. And RJ Barrett. So in terms of tonight, although it was the Pistons, I was excited about some of the performances leading into the break. They can go into the break with some confidence, understanding that we have some challenges. But everybody should just, you know, cool down on that schedule talk. Guess what? The Knicks ain't the only team that has a tough schedule for the second half, all right? We're not the only team in the NBA that has a tough schedule. A lot of the teams we're competing for, or we're going to compete for a playoff spot, also have some challenges ahead.
Yeah, okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys again.
Let's see what happens, man. Just get excited and hope everyone.
Yeah. Again, ladies and gentlemen, let's subscribe to that front stoop. We're gonna be live next Wednesday about 9:30 p.m. Just talking hip hop, society, and life. So make sure you subscribe to it. I'll continue to remind you. You know I will. continue to remind you. And I seen someone said, "Where's Mark?" Ralph Unreal said, "Find Mark." I don't know where he's at.
Yeah, it's not who's Mark, it's where's Mark.
It's where's Mark. I don't know where he is. I don't know. But anyway, we're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you all. I'll see you tomorrow. We're going to do a whole, first half review. And then take it from there, ladies and gentlemen. Be easy if I don't see you tomorrow. Have a great weekend. All right? And support our guys in the All-Star game. We're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Peace. Spread love, ladies and gentlemen. Like usual, spread love. Do it. We out.